You cleaned up your diet. You cut the sugar. You did the anti-inflammatory eating, and you're still inflamed. You're still aging faster than you felt you should. You're still carrying inflammation that no diet seemed to touch. And maybe someone implied it was still something you're eating. I cut sugar for months, convinced that my inflammation had to be dietary. Well, Colombia found the real source, and this time it had nothing to do with what was on my plate this time. Chronic stress, it produces the exact same aging damage as a high sugar diet through a completely different door. I said what I said, y'all. So I need to tell y'all about something called AGEs. AGES, yes. Advanced glycation and product. Because what Colombia found about how trauma produces them rewrites what most people believe about inflammation and aging. So AGEs are damaged proteins that accumulate in our tissue and accelerates both aging and inflammation. And for years, AGEs has been discussed almost entirely in the diabetes and the sugar space. And most people believe that AGEs comes from one thing: eating too much sugar. And that is one source, but it's not the only one. And Columbia University, they found that chronic psychological stress, it produces AGEs through a completely separate mechanism that's driven by mitochondrial oxidative stress and reactive carbonyl species, which have nothing to do with what you eat this time. So let's think of it like this. Imagine that AGEs are rust. For years, everyone said rust comes from one thing: leaving metal out in the rain, the sugar, okay? And Columbia found there is a second way to rust, okay? And that is from the inside, from the heat, the friction of an engine running too hard for too long. And that is what chronic stress does. It rusts you and I from the inside through our overworked stress mitochondrial. No rain required. Yay. And when these AGEs accumulate, they activate a receptor called RAGE. Yeah, like RAGE, the receptor for advanced glycation and products. RAGE sits on your immune cells, your microglia, your neurons, your blood vessel walls. And when RAGE gets activated, it drives the full inflammatory cascade. TNF-alpha, IL-6, IL-1 beta, the exact neuroinflammatory profiles that have been documented in so many CPTSD researches. And here is what makes RAGE especially relentless, y'all. RAGE upregulates its own expression. So when it gets activated, it makes more of itself. Yeah. So more receptors available for the next round, which creates this self-amplifying loop, okay? So the inflammation keeps this perpetuatingly long after the original stressor is gone. The engine kept rusting